is everybody today? Are we all good? Yes. We all good? Yes. That was enthusiastic, people, wasn't it? That was enthusiastic. Dang. Better than that. Come on. Right, can you all do me a favour and make sure your phones are on silent for me, please? Otherwise, we will get phone calls and stuff. And honestly, the only communication we want is with medium and spirit. We don't want people phoning from outside. I mean, if they want, you know, it is what it is. And I know I will forget myself, so I have done it, and I've made sure before I preach at you lot to turn it yours off, because I can't be trusted either, honestly. I've had moments where inappropriate ringtones, inappropriate moments. I'm eyeballing that light up there, and I'm like, is that ghosts or is that just the electricity? If it was the other room, we'd be like, ghosts. I think that's just a light bulb going there. I think that's just a dodgy bulb because this one's up here gone as well. If we're in the other room though, the lights flicker when we're asking questions and then don't when we're not. So we know it's definitely people getting involved up there. Well, we all good. Lovely. I have got the amazing Daniel Wright with me tonight. Yay! I'm very happy to have him back because he's brilliant and lovely.
Nice to be here.
Would you mind just opening for me in any way you want to? I don't mind how. It's all good.
Good evening, friends. Nice to be here again. I'd like to ask you to join me in prayer, friends. I'd like to invite Great Spirit into the Spiritualist Centre this evening to bring love, healing, comfort, wisdom, knowledge, confidence. Anything you need, anything you think we need to take us along our path, Great Spirit. As we know, we all walk our own path, and as we also know, we have problems on there now and again. And it's nice to know that you're there with us, Great Spirit, leading us, guiding us, helping us, supporting us in any way possible to help us to move on. Also, I'd like to ask for healing for the many names of book of this centre, other centres, churches and religions around the world. The world is going through a bad time and it really does need healing, Great Spirit. Also, I'd like to ask for healing for our animals, our pets, our farm animals, our zoo animals. But also animals in the wild. We forget these sometimes. And yes, they can be a pest, like the fox who keeps half of my fish. But we have to realise, without wild animals, there'd be no mankind. So I ask you, Great Spirit, send out healing to all living creatures on this earth plane. I'd like to ask for guidance for our homeless out on the streets at night. Lead them to somewhere they can find warmth, comfort, food. But most of all, because each one's got a unique story to tell, lead them to that certain person who can listen to them, help them, and find them a permanent home. No one should be homeless in this day and age. And our service people abroad, we may not like where they are, we may not understand where they are. And it may go against our convictions that they bear arms. But we have to think back to past times when people like these have not only given their time, they're giving their lives to give us the freedom of what we're doing this evening. So I ask you, Great Spirit, when their work's done, bring them home safely to their family and friends. And now I leave this service in your hands. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. As usual, I've got my healing book here and I've got some names in it. So after I've read this out, we're just going to have a few moments just to send some healing out in any way that you care to do it. Great Spirit, as we come towards the official start of spring, we see the signs of new life all around us, bringing lighter days and brighter moods. But as we begin to feel more positive, we remember that there are those who need a little extra help to find their way. We send that help now with the energy we raise here in this sanctuary tonight and always. The healing list is Darren, Caledonia, Dougie, Michael, AC, Wendy, Hayley, Scott, Craig, Katie, Robert, Sue, Sam, Irene, Gemma, Roy, Maureen, Jenny, Joanne, Tony, Alfie, Dodie, Lynn, and the Animal Kingdom. So if you could just have a moment there just to send that out, that would be wonderful. That's lovely. Thank you very much. I've got a tiny little reading here today, and I just want to read it out for you because I don't know if it's something that any of you guys have heard about, but I'm going to bring it out now. It's called an SDE. Now, that sounds like it might be something you go to the doctor for. It is not. It's a shared death experience. And what that actually means is when someone comes and visits you, say like if they're really poorly or they're in a coma or something like that, they will come and visit you before they've officially passed over. And this is a little experience that someone said here. She said, aged 11, I was washing up with my dad when he told me that he'd seen his mother's ghost. She appeared outside our kitchen window on the day that she died 4 years earlier. I was surprised and thrilled by that family story. Dad didn't go into detail, but I knew he was telling the truth. Years later, when Dad was dying from prostate cancer, I had my own ghostly encounter with him. Dad was in a hospice 3 miles away, while I was at his house with his sister, my Aunt Ronnie. We were in the kitchen washing up when I looked out of the window, and I saw a wispy white mist float past. The mist formed into a shape of a man, hovered outside the window inches away, and then whizzed off to the side. I asked Ronnie, did you see that? I know what that was, she replied calmly. So do I said. Without prompting, my aunt said, he's visiting us one last time. We both burst into tears because we knew that the visit meant that Dad didn't have long in this world. I saw the mist on the Wednesday, and on the Friday, Dad passed away peacefully in the hospice. The shared death experience didn't scare us. In fact, I felt reassured. It was comforting to know that Dad was thinking of me, and a visit with my father was saying goodbye. There's a couple of other little stories here if anyone wants to read them later, but it's just one of those things that I wanted to point out because so many people seem to dismiss that. They dismiss that phenomenon and they dismiss it thinking like, well, they've not passed away, so I can't have seen them. They couldn't have actually been saying goodbye. They couldn't have actually been here. But there's so many stories like that out there, and there's so much proof that the spirit world is all around us. And when people are getting ready to pass over, their spirit is bouncing back and forth, ready, getting prepared to go over there. They've got family with them. They've got people with them ready to go with them. Anyone that thinks that someone passes away on their own, they don't. Even if you can't be there, they are always have someone with them, and they will always come and say goodbye to you before they leave. So I just want to pop that out. I will pass you off Dave, do whatever he wants to do, do an address or whatever.
Okay. Good evening once again. Just a very, very short address. It's your right. Spirit has given you this strength, this power, and it's your right. You can change your life any moment of the day you wish to. You do not have to ask anybody's permission, and don't worry about upsetting people. If people get upset, that's their problem, not your problem. If you've got something in your life you need to change, then it's your right to change it. And Spirit will be with you, and they give you that power to do so. I know a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. The last one I made, I've never broken. That was about 40 years ago. Never broke it. I'm proud of that. And that was never to make another New Year's resolution. Because you can change your life any moment you want. You plant that seed and you nurture that seed, and sooner or later that seed will grow into something you want. So don't be scared of changing your life if you need or you think you should do. You don't have to ask permission from anybody. Okay, I'm just going to leave that thought with you. I know a lot of people, they're scared of changing their life, or they won't like it, might upset them. That's their problem, not your problem. Your problem, you're sorting it out, you're changing your life. So go ahead and do it. Okay, I'll tell you how I work. If I come to you, please have an open mind. Please don't concentrate on a loved one you wish to talk to. I don't have the power. No medium has got the power to demand to speak to someone from spirit. We have to work with whoever comes. And quite often it's mum and dad, or nan or granddad, or uncle and aunt. But if your mum and dad or your nan and gran are fans of Coronation Street or East Enders, you can't get them away. I know when my nan was on the airplane, when my nan was on the airplane, I used to go around and visit her. My nan, I got a lot of my nan's about here. She brought me up mainly. I used to go around there, and if Coronation Street was on, she wouldn't open the door. I wait until Coronation Street was finished. So I learnt that, so I used to come a bit later. But if they put Coronation Street a bit later, I didn't win. But no one can make someone come from spirit. But if you've got something really important that you need to know, or spirit needs to tell you, your mum and dad, nan, they will come. But it doesn't have to be them. It can be any member of your family. It can be friends, school friends, work friends, best friends. Someone you've met in a supermarket or worked with in an office or actually somewhere. It could be absolutely anyone. No tramp you give 30 pence to for a cup of tea that many years ago. It could be absolutely anyone. Someone you've opened the door for. It could be anyone you've ever met in your life. And no one can remember every single person. I can't even remember who I met yesterday. So, it's like, you think we're under stress, but the ones under stress are the people we go to. Because we've got you working, thinking. And never give a quick no. If you give a quick no, we know you're not thinking about it. So, just say, I'll hold that and think about it later. Like I said, I can't make anybody come. But sometimes people do come, or people you've absolutely hated, or they've hated you. These people can come through, they do sometimes, but they don't come through with hatred. There's no such thing as hatred in the spirit world. They work on a love vibration. Never be scared of anyone from the spirit world. But if you don't want to talk to them, fine. It's not a problem. I'll just ask them next time, maybe let someone else through. It's not a problem for me. We work through that. I know there's certain people that come through, I say, no, I don't want to talk to them. And I won't talk to them. That's your right. Spirit will always respect your right. So never be scared of anyone from the spirit world. Okay? Sometimes if I go to someone, I might get 2 or 3 different people in for that person. So you might get a little bit of a mixture. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going with at the moment. I'm going to come to the lady in the black top sitting in front of the fireplace. I'll come to you. The lady looking for herself, yeah. I have a man coming in. Is your father in spirit world? Father in spirit world? Grandfather? I don't feel your grandfather passed at a very old age. Does that make sense? I've seen him. I don't see him as a tall person. I see him about 5'9", 5'8", maybe 5'10". Excuse me, he's definitely shorter than I am. Does that make sense? I also feel this man was someone. Would he be in the habit of wearing a black coat or a black overcoat? Did you know your grandfather? Okay, right, okay. There are certain things you know about him, though. Okay. I also feel he's talking about dogs. There will be dogs around him or dogs around you. Okay, but he said dogs, so it'd be 2 or more. Does that make sense? Or maybe you've had 2 or more in a lifetime. Okay. I also feel he's also talking to her about the cats as well. Does that make sense? Okay. He's showing me a black cat. Okay. He's also talking about there will be. He would have been a manual worker. He would have either worked on the land or on the road. He would have worked out in the open. Does that make sense? I also feel with him, if it's not for him, it's someone else, he would have had very bad arthritis towards the end of his life. Would you know that? Okay, I hold that in. He's talking about his wrists and his arms were very bad. Okay, I've got to give you the name Charlie. I know it's a common name. I've got to give you the name Charlie within the family somewhere. Okay, and you're also talking about Lillian. If you can't remember, just hold them. Like I said, we put you under stress, and when you're under stress, you don't always think. Okay, I can ask him why he's cut. I feel when he did pass, it was quite quickly and peacefully. So he may part in it, he either passed in his sleep or he may have been in a coma of some sort. Does that make sense? Okay, hold that. Okay. He's talking about it would have been a church funeral. So it was a family church or a church where the family went for weddings and funerals. Does that make sense? You don't know that. Okay, I'm going to ask him why he's come. He's talking about you. He said, funny enough, I was just talking about changes. He said, at the moment, you're going through changes. He said, keep going. Don't stop until you get what you want. Does that make sense? He said, sometimes you're going to come across hard times where things are going to be a bit difficult. Slow down and think about it, but don't stop. Work a way around it. He said, you know you've got to make these changes, otherwise things are going to go back to how they was. Does that make sense? But he just said, if you don't make the changes, he said, you've made that decision, and if you go back on that decision, people will see that as a sign of weakness, and you can't have that. Does that make sense? Okay. He's also talking about stop worrying about the children; they'll be okay. Okay. He's also talking about with you about that. Sometimes we have to just sit down and say to ourselves that this can't go on. I have to do something about it. You see, but once you make that decision, then it's your choice when you start to do things. Don't let anybody force you to do something when you're not ready to. Does that make sense? Okay. He said it's okay to walk away sometimes without giving an answer. You don't have to give answers. You only give the answers when you feel you should do. Does that make sense? It's as though someone's asking you questions and for some reason you don't want to answer the questions. It's not my business why, but he's saying, it's okay, walk away. Yeah, just walk away. He's also talking, is there a birthday coming up? No, he's just talking about a birthday. If it's a birthday, if it's not a birthday, it's a special occasion or something. Or have you got an appointment with the hairdressers? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? No, he's just saying something to do with an appointment or a special occasion, and he's tying it all in with an appointment with the hairdressers. Okay? One last thing, he's talking to you about that is your mother on the airplane. She needs healing at the moment. There's healing being sent, but he's saying your mother will be okay. Your plight is more important at the moment. Do what you must, but do it completely. No going back. Does that make sense? Okay, he's giving you a lot of love. I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you for listening to me. Okay. Come to the lady with the glasses on. I'll come, or the first lady with the glasses on. I'll come to you. Yeah. No, you. Okay. I should have said the fair-haired lady with the glasses on. Okay. I have a lady coming in. I'm not sure if she. As she comes in, I just feel this lady was a bundle of fun. Always laughing, always joking, always enjoying herself, always taking the fun out of people. You take a lady like that? Yeah. A really happy lady. But behind all that happiness was a sad part of her life, which she kept hidden. Does that make sense? Yeah. She's saying, I didn't want to talk about it. It was overdone. It was a period of my life that I shouldn't have let happen, but I did. You see, but once I realised and moved on, that was gone. That was in the past. Does that make sense? Okay, she's Otisfield, this lady, she comes in. I've got to give you Anne as a name. Not necessarily her name, she said Anne. As she comes in, I did feel with her that she would have passed in her 60s. The lady in spirit.
Yeah. No, not first time thinking.
Older or younger? Older. Okay. I just got sixes with her. Okay, older. Okay. I just feel with her that when she passed, I just feel she had been ill for several months before she passed. But she knew that she was going to pass. She said, I knew and I accepted it and I didn't fight against it. And she said, towards the end, I was just hoping that it would come. Does that make sense? She said, my family ran me when I passed, and there was things said in a way that it was some sort of confession or something like that. Does that make sense? She's not saying it's perfect, so she's not telling me I don't want to know anyway. It's not my, it's personal. But she's saying it answered a lot of questions, and it also gave people hope in their lives to move on. Does that make sense? Okay. She's also talking around as to feel with her. I've got to give you a Lillian as well. Okay. Hold it. Okay. But she's talking about that in her life. So, well, she has done some sort of tailoring or sewing things. Does that make sense? Okay, she's showing me sewing things and the old sewing machines, the old pedal things and things like that. Does that make sense? She's also talking around her as though, was she lived near a river or was a river?
At one point, yeah.
Okay, she said about the happy times by the river. Okay, she's also talking around her that she would be someone who liked to sing. I'm not saying she had a great voice, but she would like to sing, or do you like to sing? Does that make sense? Pardon?
I like to sing.
Okay, she's talking about liking to sing. Not saying. Yeah. Pardon?
She used to tell me that I was
Okay, no. Oh, right. Okay. I mean, but she's saying about like to sing, but she. I just feel this lady was a very happy lady, and a good focal point for other people. Does that make sense? That if other people needed help, she would listen to them and do her best to help them. Because she had been through some of the problems they've already, or they were experiences, and she could relate to that. Does that make sense? Okay. I also feel with her that Maria, I've got to give you the name Maria. Okay. I just feel with her, she would be someone who, if you needed help, she'd be knocking on your door. Okay. I'm going to ask her why she's come. Just want to move out, do as many as I can. She's talking with you about you need to slow down a bit. She said you're not a young chicken anymore. Does that make sense? She said just slow down. She said there's things that can be done tomorrow. You don't have to do them today. Just calm down and be a bit patient. Does that make sense? She said your art is ruling your head at the moment. And you know you do have to slow down. How many more people are going to tell you? She said, but again, your art is ruling your head, and in some ways that's good, but in another way you've got to say, pace yourself a bit better. Does that make sense? She says there's some things you can leave to tomorrow. You don't have to do them today. And people have got to learn to respect your wishes that I can't do it at the moment. They will do that, but you've got to make it plain to them. Does that make sense? She's also sending healing. Have you got a son? Yeah. Is he in need of healing at the moment? Yeah. She said sending healing to the boy, and I'll take it as your son. Okay. And there's also, who had an accident on a motorbike?
Yeah.
Because they're saying whoever that is, they're in need of healing, and it's long-term healing. So maybe it's an injury, life-changing injury. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, she's sending it into that. Okay, she's also talking about you about as letters and things you need to be writing. She said, don't keep putting that off. That's something you can do today, because they need to be written and need to be sent off. And you need to get a positive answer. If not, you write and write again. And if you don't get the answers you want, you seek advice. Does that make sense? She said you seek advice, because it is an important issue with you, and it does need clearing up to your advantage. You mustn't keep being fobbed off. Does that make sense? Okay. She's sending you a lot of love. She's also talking with you about that you're not buying Christmas presents already, are you? Does that make sense? She's just shaking her head. There's another 9 months yet. But she's laughing about that. And she's saying you've done that for years and you won't change. It's always been a joke within the family. Does that make sense? Okay. But she said, stop doubting yourself. Stop looking inwards about how you want to change. You don't have to change. Just be yourself. The only thing you need to change is pace yourself. Does that make sense? She's seen you a lot of love. Sheila, we'll give you a Sheila as well. Okay. Okay, thank you for working with me. Okay. Come to the lady down front. Yes. Can I come to you?
Yes.
I have a man coming in. As he comes in, I feel this will be your grandfather in spirit. Okay. This grandfather, I feel he's on the move all the time. Couldn't sit still, couldn't stand still. Does that make sense? Dancing and things like that. He could have been an entertainer, he's saying. Does that make sense? Okay. It's as though he's always making silly jokes and things like that. As he comes in, I see him a little bit shorter than me, maybe about 5'10". I see him slim. I don't see him overweight or nothing like that. But a man who kept his word. If he said something, he would do it. He would do his best to do it. If he promised something, he would do his best to fulfill that promise. Does that make sense? As he comes in, I just feel with him that he was someone always there for other people. But he says sometimes when I needed help, they weren't there for me. And he's saying to you, learn that lesson. Learn that lesson. Does that make sense? He said, you know, if you want to be there for everyone, fine. But don't expect people to come running to you when you need help. It doesn't work that way. Does that make sense? Okay. Do you know this lady?
Yes.
But he's saying you do an awful lot. And it's about that. Have you been awarded something?
Sorry?
Have you been given an award or something like that?
It was kind of like a thank you letter.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay, you say about you've got something. He said, treasure that. You see, you know, if someone took the bother of giving it to you or sending it, treasure that. Because they've taken time out of their lives to thank you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel this man, when he passed the spirit, I just feel with him, he chest pains of some sort. Like a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. But it's just saying about his chest. But he's also talking about that there was people he couldn't say goodbye to. And he said that they felt a little bit, how can I put it? They felt that they let him down by not being there. And he said, you weren't to know, no more, it just happened. Don't have any regrets. Those people mustn't have any regrets. You see, you know, it's happened. He said, I'm not in pain no more. And he's saying about, did he have a bad leg or something wrong with his leg?
Yes.
Something with his walking?
When he was a boy, he and my uncle, they went on a trip. So the tire burst. So my grandpa threw himself out of the car. He said,
Okay.
that he always made.
Okay, don't say too much because he's saying, look, I'm running up and down now, I can run up and down. Okay, he's saying jumping over walls and things. Don't get carried away, was it? I just feel his man was a bundle of fun.
He was a character.
And if you was down, he would cheer you up. He would like a Guinness. He's drinking a Guinness. Does that make sense? I just feel he would like a Guinness. But he's saying that his life, it's as though he wasn't born in this country, was he?
No.
Because he said, when I come to this country, he said, that's perfect.
He's never been here.
Pardon?
He's never been here.
He's never been
He
here.
was born in South Africa and then migrated in Botswana.
Was you born in this country?
No, I was born in South Africa.
When you first come here, you found it hard. Does that make sense? But you persevered.
Maybe.
Okay, that's what he thinks. He's saying about not being born here, coming here and finding it hard. But you persevered. And he's saying you should be an example to other people that if you go to a strange country, anywhere in the world, you've got to persevere.
Yes.
He said, you know, you can't just expect to go somewhere and everybody to love you. It doesn't work like that, he's saying. But if you persevere, it will happen. Does that make sense? You do caring or nursing of some sort?
I did the caring.
Okay, he's talking about the caring. He's thanking you for that, whoever it was. But he also told you about you've been thinking of writing some articles or something down on paper or something like that.
I've been thinking about it.
Okay, he said, well, time to stop thinking, time to start doing it. You see, you know, you can always alter it, you always change it, you can always go back to it until you think it's right. You see, but in your head, you've got to get it on paper. You see, that's where it counts. And it's as though you've got some past life experiences in your, is it about, or something like that? He's talking about in your life, about your life. He said, just put it down. Let other people know. Let other people learn from it. Let other people know if you persevere, you can make it. Does that make sense? I just feel he keeps using his words persevere. I just feel he's the sort of man that wouldn't give in. If he set his mind on something, he would keep going till he achieved what he wanted to achieve. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't like tomorrow.
Pardon?
He never liked people using the word tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. He said, how about now?
Yeah. I'll take that.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You're showing me oranges.
Yes.
That would relate to South Africa. Does that make sense?
He had an orchard.
Okay, is he showing me, is he saying it relates to South Africa?
Yes.
Okay. I just feel he's a lovely man. Would he add 3 sons? Have you got 3 sons?
I've got 2.
2?
Yeah.
He did have 3. You haven't got one in spirit?
He had 3 sons.
Oh, wait, he's talking about 3 sons. And he's also talking about one of them went into medicine or something like that.
He did, and then he didn't like it when he got there.
Okay, he said he went into medicine. Okay. He's sending you a lot of love, and I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you for looking at me. Okay. Come to the lady down the front. Come here. I have a man coming your generation. I'm not sure what the relationship or friendship is, but it's not an older generation, your generation. As he comes in, I just feel this man was, how can I put it, bit of a jack the lad. Can you take a man like that?
Yeah.
Okay, but an harmless person. He wouldn't do anybody any harm. He might take advantage of them or something like that, but he wouldn't do them any harm. Does that make sense? Okay, I've got to give you Ronnie or Ronald. Okay, that. Okay. He's also talking about a Mary.
Yeah.
I've got to give you a Mary. And I just feel with him. I just feel with him that he would be someone. Yeah, he was a bit of a jack of a lad, but he thought of other people. If he thought someone was in need, without asking them, he would go and sort out whatever they needed to give to them. Does that make sense? So he liked to surprise people. Okay. Also, a bit of a comedian, this man as well. Does it make sense? I just feel with him. But he's talking about having many, many happy years of life. But towards the end, it was as though that he had to face up to facts that he had to change, that he couldn't live his life the way he wished to live his life. He had to make changes in his life owing to ill health. Does that make sense?
No, not sure about that.
Okay, he's talking about, unless it's you,
Me, yeah.
okay, is he making changes to because of ill health. But he's also talking about, would this man have been a lorry driver or did he like drive lorries and things? He's talking about going around the country and all that. And he said, I like that. He said, because in the end, once you got in your lorry and drove off, using your own government, your own world, he said, not like today. He said, I wouldn't want to drive today. But he's saying that he enjoyed his life. I'm not sure what the relationship is or the friendship at the moment, but he seems very attached to you. Does that make sense? Okay. But it's as though that, how can I put it? Towards the end of his life, there was a separation. Does that make sense? Okay. But he's saying with that, he said it happened through misjudgment and listening to other people and gossip and all that. Does that make sense? He said, you know, if things had been okay and left to us, we still would have been together. Very sure. He's not telling me, I don't know. But he said other people got their hooks into us for some reason.
Yeah.
He's seen you a lot of love, and he's talking with you about. Sometimes he say, you know, you've got to. How can I put it? You've got to wake up in the morning with the confidence that something special is going to happen that day. But every morning you've got to have that. You see, you've got to wake up with expectations that something's going to be good. You've got to wake up with the confidence it's going to be a great, good day for you. Does that make sense? You see, sometimes you wake up and you're not.
That's right.
You see, but you see, have that expectations. If it doesn't happen today, it'll happen tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow, it'll happen the next day. You see, but always have that expectations. I can relate to that because I wake up on a Tuesday and a Friday thinking I'm going to win the lottery. I keep winning, you know. If I don't win it tonight, I'll win it Tuesday. It's only 2 or 3 days, I don't care. But I've been asking Spirit for the lottery numbers for about 3 years. And Spirit came to me and said, you want the lottery numbers? I said, yeah, I can do so much. And I said, I know the church's got no toilet outside. They want inside toilet. I can do that for them. And the Spirit said, yeah, I expect you could, but you've got to meet us each halfway. I said, well, what's that? He said, first of all, buy a ticket. And that's life. If you don't put into life, you don't get out of life. So he wants you to buy into life. Does that make sense? You see, get out and buy into life. You see, one day you look back and think, where did it all go? He said, don't let that happen to you. He said, your best days are in front of you. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you for listening to me. Okay? Come to the lady in the white top. Come to. Yeah, another lady looking for herself. Okay. Either a man coming through, I feel this will be your father or your grandfather. Pardon? Oh, okay. As he comes in, whoever his man is, sometimes I might have them both. His man, I just feel with him as though he would have done building or work with buildings or connected with buildings. Does that make sense? He's showing me different buildings and bricklaying and all that sort of stuff that goes on building site. I also feel with him that this man, would he have been a supervisor or an overseer or something like that, a foreman? Does that make sense? Would he have given work out to people? Okay. It's giving me the impression, not saying he was a manager or anything like that, but he would have given work to people, told people what to do. I've got to give you the name Brian. Okay. As he comes in, I just feel him there. I just see him about 5'11", 6 foot. See him about my height. I also feel with him, they're always smiling, always a nice smile, and he had fairish hair as well. Does that make sense? What bit can't you take, the smile or the fairish hair? Okay. I can't change that. He's showing me not very long, but longish fairish hair. Okay. I also feel this man, I just feel with him that he will be someone connected or light or with music. He either liked the music, and I'm talking about 60s and 70s stuff. Possibly, okay. Always take possibilities as yeses, okay. I also feel this man, as though it would be, he would tinker with cars. I'm not saying he was a qualified mechanic, but he knew he could tinker with cars. He could sort a car out if he had to. Does that make sense? Okay. I also feel this man, when he passed the spirit, I just feel it was before his time. I just felt that there was plans. He had plans to do things, and he's saying, "I never got round to doing them. I didn't have the time." He said, "But if I was done these plans," he said, "it weren't just for me, but it was for other people and other members of the family." Does that make sense? Okay. Would he have left a daughter on the airplane? Talking about a daughter on the airplane. Have you got a daughter on the airplane?
No.
Did he have a daughter on the airplane? Oh, you. Oh, right. Okay, right. So all you had to say yes. Okay. So he's all there. But I just feel this man. I just feel that he was someone who wouldn't let sleeping dogs lie. Does that make sense? If there was a problem or something, he would keep at it until it was sorted to what he thought it should be sorted. Does that make sense? He said I was nobody's fool. And if anybody treated me as someone like that, then that will really get my back up. Does that make sense? He said, I used to work with fools, and I accepted that because not everybody can have university degrees and things like that. That's part of life. But when people take you for a fool, it's different. Does that make sense? I just feel it was okay. There will be horses around him or horses around you. Okay, he's talking about the horses. He's also talking about there will be trips to Birmingham. Okay, he's talking about trips to Birmingham. But I just feel he said while I was on the airplane, he said, I made every moment count. You see, if I wanted to do something, I've done my best to do it. He said, I didn't always succeed. It didn't always work out the way I wanted it, but I had a go. Does that make sense? He said, I had a go. And he's saying to you, he's saying, don't you give up. He's not telling me, I said, I don't tell me, I don't ask. But he said, there's something in life that you want. Go for it and don't give up. He said, it may not be within reach at this moment, but who knows next week. So don't walk away, don't give up. Does that make sense? He's also talking about, you've got to do some decorating, or you've been thinking about decorating. Okay, because he's saying around that you want nice pastel colours, light colours. Does that make sense? He says, well, he's also, is there a tree to cut down, or is there a tree blocking your light or something like that? He's talking about cutting a tree down. Something to do with light, blocking the light or something like that. Okay. So he thinks there might be a tree or something. Okay. He's also talking about you about that you need to sort out a problem. Medical. Does that make sense? He says, don't have no fear. Don't be scared. Get it sorted out. Move on. Does that make sense? He says, just move on. He's not telling me because I'm not medical anyway. I wouldn't know. But he's saying, get it sorted. It'll be okay. Move on. You got a daughter? You said about your other sister. She got a daughter? Okay. He's talking about a young girl around you where that she needs some backup, needs some confidence. She needs to be given some confidence. Does that make us your daughter? Okay. Okay. I'm going to have to sit down because my legs are not too good. I'm supposed to be having a knee transplant. But she's talking about with your daughter, encourage her slowly but surely. Don't push too much onto her. Let her go at her speed, but she's got to go. Does that make sense? She said she'll be okay. It's just that she needs some confidence. She's had a rough time. Does that make sense? Someone's knocked the confidence out of her. Someone's took her confidence away. Or something's happened that's taken her confidence away. In time, that will come back. But it will be in time and you can't force it. It's got to come back when she's ready. Okay? She's also... Has she been thinking about changing a job or doing something, a job or something? You can't take that. But she's thinking about making some sort of changes in her life. Does that make sense? Which might include a job or something like that. It's about making changes. Getting married? Well, that's a job, isn't it? I've had 3 jobs like that. What's it? But she's saying that, it's so that she's still got doubts. Does that make sense? But not doubts with the marriage or the guy or anything like that. Doubts about herself. It's as though there's a lack of confidence in herself. Does that make sense? And your dad saying, or is about just encourage her, but don't push her. It will come, but it might take a little bit of time. Does that make sense? Okay, I can come back to the other lady. He's talking with you. A birthday next month? Sunday. Okay, he said next month. Okay, Sunday. He's also saying with you about there's a passing, anniversary of a passing in June. Okay. And also a birthday in January. Hold that if you can't think of it straight away. I can only think of 2 birthdays. That's my daughter's and mine. I can't think of any others. That's what's it. Men can't, they? You know, we're not meant that. We're not built to men birthdays. We leave that to the ladies. Okay. I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you for working with me. Okay. I'm going to come to the lady in the stripe top. Can I come to you? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have a man coming in. I feel this man would be the next generation up. Could be your grandfather, your father. Sorry, father of spirit. Okay. I just feel with him. He was a collar and tie man.
Yes.
Okay. I also feel with him that he would be ex-serviceman.
Yes.
And I also feel with him that he would be, if he didn't go to the War Memorial on Commemoration Day, Remembrance Day, he would watch it on telly or something like that. Does that make sense? Okay, I just feel, and he talked about sometimes he would cry when he remembers his old buddies. I'm not saying he fought in the war, nothing like that, but I just felt there was those memories of the past, which he couldn't get back. Does that make sense? Okay. I've got to give you Arthur. I'm not saying his name's Arthur, but he's given me Arthur as a name. Okay. He's also talking about there will be London links.
Sorry?
London links.
Yes.
And he's showing me Acne
Yes.
area. Does that make sense? He's showing me Acne. I think that's in East London. I'm not too sure. I know it's on the border of East London and North London. Okay. He's also showing me there would be someone, if it weren't him, it would be someone in the family connected with boats and ships, docks and things like that. Does that make sense? Okay. It's just showing me dock lands and ships coming in and out. Okay. But it will be connections with Australia as well.
Yes.
Okay. Showing me kangaroos. Okay. So, but I just feel this man. I just feel he was a man who liked to entertain people, mainly children, or about his experiences of life. Does that make sense? He liked to talk about the old times.
Not him.
Not him. But you take someone else like that.
Yes.
But not he. He just used to talk about, but not in a way of regret. Just telling people how it used to be, and how things were much fun in them days. Does that make sense? Okay. I also feel with him that who would be an undertaker? You take an undertaker in the family.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, if he's not an undertaker, you take someone that made coffins. He's showing me someone making a coffin. Does that make? Okay, I have to leave that in. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, well, okay, that's okay. That's fine. That's it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. They show you symbols and things, and you have to work them out. What's it? But that's a good link. That's okay. It's showing Undertaker links. I also feel with him now. I feel with him that he was good at Cockney rhyme. Does that make sense? Like Apple and Sears and. Okay, he's just showing me that. How do you think he was fun to be with?
Yes.
But he said around that, as long as no one took the fun out of him, as long as nobody took the fun out of him, he didn't mind the fun. He said, but if someone took the mick out of me, then I didn't like that. Okay. I just feel we've been very generous, this man. I just feel he was very generous. And it's as though he would give you his last half penny if you needed it. Does that make sense? Okay. I also feel when he passed the spirit, I just feel old age. Old age. He's not telling me about an illness, he's just saying just old age. See, I lived my life.
I just say 3 months off
99?
3 months off 99.
Oh, he never got his letter from the.
No.
No, okay. No, I just felt he lived his life. And he said that my time was up. He said, I looked back on my life and I looked about the past and the friends that didn't make it. He said people moan about old age, but the thing they don't say is they survived. They're survivors. And a lot of people never made that. Does that make sense? Okay. He's also talking about showing me tanks. Would he have been in a tank regiment or would he have done something with tanks? Okay, so I'll leave that with you. Just showing me tanks. So what's it? I can ask him why he's come. He's talking about with you about that you could tell a tale or two if you wanted to. Does that make sense? He's laughing, so you know. He's saying, you know, that you're someone. Get a couple of drinks in you and you're there away. Does that make sense? But he's laughing. He's laughing. He said, no. He said, you wouldn't say anything malicious or anything like that. It was just good, honest fun. And it's as though you get together with the girls. Does that make sense? He's talking about you getting together with the girls. Do you go to some sort of centre or something like that? Okay, as he said, you let your head down. You are you then. He said, you are you because you feel safe in that area. Does that make sense? He said, that's good. He said, but you should feel safe at any time. He said, you know, sometimes you worry too much. He said, don't worry about other people. He said, I used to think if they didn't like me, it's good. I don't have to like them. You see, he said that was my attitude. If someone didn't like me, so it saved me a favour. I could like someone else. Okay. He's talking about you. Is there problems with a gas bill or electric bill, or energy bill? I know we're all con merchants at the moment. Something about sorting out an energy bill. If it's not for you, it might be for one of your children. Or he's talking about checking up on an energy bill. So it might be for you, it might be for someone else around you. He's also talking about you've been sorting out some jewellery. You've been looking at some jewellery. You've been sorting it out. Because he's saying some of that is sentimental value. Don't ever get rid of it. He said, if you want to get rid of some of the other stuff, fine. He said, but again, you do need to know that some of that stuff is bringing you, when you look at it, it brings you bad memories. Does that make sense? He said, if you're going to get rid of anything, get rid of that. He said, we shouldn't have nothing in our homes that causes bad memories. Okay? Seeing you a lot of love. He's also talking about you about that you've got problems with your foot.
Yes.
Because he's saying about sorting your foot. It's as though you should see the right person about your foot. So I take that you need to see a specialist or something like that, or someone that knows about working with feet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And he's also talking about that you've been dreaming a lot lately.
Yes.
Okay. He's talking about your dreams, and he's saying that you should write your dreams down. If you can remember them, write them down on paper, because you need to get them analysed. But you've got to get them analysed by someone you trust, not any Tom, Dick and Harry. Does that make sense? Okay, so if you say you've been getting a lot of spiritual dreams lately, it's thanking you for the good times. You see, I had some good times in my life, and you was part of it. And he's sending you his love. I'm going to leave his love with you. Thank you for working with me. Okay?
You can stop if you want, or you can squeeze another one in.
I'll do another one. Now do the lady in the grey coat. Okay? You? Okay?
I love how everyone forgets how they got dressed when they left the house.
Yeah.
Like, what am I wearing?
I've done that myself, and someone said, I Can't be the man in the blue shirt. I'm looking around and I've got the blue shirt on. You forget? Yeah. Okay. Can you take a young man in spirit? Can you take a young man in spirit? Okay. Quick passing. Yeah. Okay. As he may to feel in his 20s? Older? Okay. I just feel this man was a quick, and I feel it was an accident. And I just feel that this young man was, if it's not you, it's got to be somebody else. Yeah. Had problems with drugs. You can't think. Can anybody else take a young man like this at all? Yeah. You can take that. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. I just feel this young man in his 20s. Okay. Quick passing accident on drugs. Okay. But I feel that he was coping with his drug problem and he was doing his best to get on top of it. Does that make sense? It's just giving me that impression that he knew he had this problem. He knew he had to deal with it and get over it. Okay, but I just feel this man was very artistic. He had a talent for doing something. Does that make sense? Are those art or something? Was he good at art? Pardon? Good for it. Oh, okay, right, okay. It's just showing me art. All right, okay. I also feel with him. I've got issue nose. I also feel with him that he could be a very funny person, and I can't say that. He didn't care two monkeys for anybody. Does that make sense? Okay. But good-hearted, very good-hearted. He says, oh yeah, he did go against authority and all that, and he didn't care about them, but he did care about people. He did honestly cared about people. I also feel with him that he was someone who was he in a group or music group? You're not. They're talking about a music group, or did he hang about with a group? But also, I just feel with him that he was someone who stood up. You heard this saying, you got to stand up and be counted. He did. Does that make sense? And he said it cost him a lot of people, a lot of friends sometimes because he was too outspoken. Nobody likes anyone who's too outspoken. He said I was outspoken and it cost me my friends. I also feel he's talking about his drugs. He said it was silly to get onto them. He knew that. He said, but at that time, my life was empty. I needed something, and the drugs was so easy. He said, but I was trying to get off them. He's thanking you for your support. Does that make sense? He said, you was there. He said, sometimes I was really horrible to you. Me? Yeah. Well, he seems to think you were. Maybe in his own way, he thought, but he said, you always stood by me.
This young man over there as well, so they might be both answer together.
It wasn't me, it's my daughter. She was going to come tonight, but she didn't.
So you wanted to
Are
come
you
to
related or do you know each other?
No, I don't know.
Okay. How much of that can you take?
Most of it.
Okay. Okay. But he's saying, both take it. It might be for both of you, like, you know, sometimes. He's saying you both stood by me. He said I didn't deserve it. Yeah, well, yeah. You both stood by me, and I'm thanking you for that. He said you've done your best. He said at the time the drugs blinded me, and I couldn't see it. He said, but I'm thanking you now. He said now I'm all clear and I'm okay. Graffiti all round the spirit world. Okay. So when you go there, you see all these wonderful colours. But he's saying to your daughter and to you, thank you for your best. You've done your best. And it's just so that this young man, I just feel with him that he could be hurt very easily. His emotions, he said that his emotions, he could cry. Does that make sense? And I just feel he's happy now. Of course, in the spirit world, but he's saying thank you for. So I wish I'd been treated you better than your daughter. Okay. He says he's sending you both lots of love, and he says, I don't know if it's you or your daughter. But all different colours, but a lot of black in it. I notice a lot of black in it. Okay, but I don't know if it's your daughter or you. He's saying that don't let no one tell you can't do. As though she wants to do something, and someone's telling her you can't do that, and he's saying don't let anyone tell you can't do it. Go for it. And if it doesn't succeed, just say that next time it will. Don't give in. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to leave her up with maybe both. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for working with me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for a nice evening. Okay.
Do you want me to close for
You
you?
can come.
Yep.
Don't mind. I don't mind.
Okay,
I'm not
lovely.
fussy.
Can we all just put out our thanks to those that came and visited us and communicate with us tonight, and those that if they didn't get a message, we know that they're still around us. It's just unfortunately one person, a limited amount of time, a limited amount of energy, and all of the loveliness. We want to thank those lovely, we want to thank them all for coming. They will all be around you as we finish. We put a close protection on everyone as you leave here tonight, and make sure we all get safely home until we come back again. And we just give lots of energy, all of our energy and everything that we've raised tonight, and we send it out to all the places that it needs. So thank you. I'd like to thank Danny for working with us.
Thank you.
Really lovely.
You can always take from somebody else's message.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you feel that suits me, and you take it.
Yeah, because sometimes if spirits feel so
Yeah,
similar, they will come in together and
yeah.
share a link. They like to do that. That's what they do. On the 5th of April, we're back. We've got the lovely Ryan Saunders with us. He's very lovely, very nice, very funny, and he will bounce around if you let him. And so all do stay for a couple. I'm just going to pull it out and see who's winning our Easter egg for tonight. 817. Where's 817?
Oh,
Get you get an Easter egg from our lovely. Go. Right.